I'm Eli Calhoun, 36. Youngest son. Family afterthought. My parents have country club smiles and Midwestern values that rot the second money enters the room. My sister Maribel was always the one meant to inherit the legacy, a phrase they used like it was biblical. I was just the one who ruined dinner conversations by existing differently. They used to say I had a soft heart. What they meant was soft spine. A background player in the Calhoun narrative. Until I won $50 million. 3 beeps. That's all it took. The gas station scanner blinked, then froze. The clerk looked at me like I'd sprouted horns. I just stared at the numbers. $50 million. Static buzzed in my ears. I didn't feel joy. I felt a noose. That night, I didn't tell anyone. The next morning, I called for a family dinner. My voice was even. Calm. Too calm. Just some news I'd like to share. They arrived early. That was my first sign. My parents never show up on time unless there's money involved. Maribel wore navy blue. Conservative. Camera ready. The way she looked at me when she walked in, like she already knew. My father spoke first. We're proud of you, Eli. This opportunity, it belongs to all of us. His voice had that polished courtroom charm he used in every deposition. My mother followed. Of course, we'd never asked for all of it. Just what's fair. Fair, Maribel echoed. Her smile didn't move, but her eyes did. Then came the folder. Manila. Creased. Placed in front of me like a bomb with no timer. Inside, drafted agreements. Not suggestions. Terms. Transfer of 95% of the winnings into a family-managed trust. They'd already assigned the trustee, not me. I looked up. No one blinked. You'll still have your name on the media announcement, my mother offered, like a consolation prize. I didn't respond. Just kept flipping pages. Clause 7, delegation of financial oversight due to psychological burden associated with sudden wealth. They were saying I was unfit. Gently. Legally. Maribel leaned in. Her perfume was sharp, lemon and cold steel. Don't make this difficult, Eli. This money needs structure. You need structure. Funny, I said. I always thought you needed control. She smiled. Same thing. My pulse slowed. Danger doesn't always scream. Sometimes it smiles politely and hands you a pen. I closed the folder. I need time, I said. No one argued. They didn't need to. The deal was already in motion. That night, I sat on the porch with a whiskey I didn't taste and a storm I didn't see coming. My father always said, the smart ones plan for the lightning. The real power comes in the thunder after. I'd just heard the first crack. My sister's smile didn't fade when I said I needed time, it sharpened. 3 days later, I got the email. Subject, confirmation of ownership transfer, lottery winnings. There was no warning. No request. No call from my parents. No smirk from Maribel. Just a cold, corporate PDF attachment with my name already listed as the former beneficiary of the Calhoun Trust. I hadn't signed a damn thing. I clicked through the attachment. Page 4, Section B, Authorization to Transfer Assets. A signature at the bottom. Neat. Familiar. Mine. But it wasn't. I stared at the curve of the E, the hook of the L, perfect mimicry, but dead in the eyes. My hand never touched that paper. Another email hit. From the State Commission on Lottery Ethics. A routine check. They'd received notification of an interfamily transfer above $40 million. They wanted to confirm it wasn't under duress. A formality. Formality could kill me. I stood up so fast my chair crashed back. Breathe. Think. I printed the documents. Felt the paper. Thick. Weighty. My name, not mine. Cut to. Front door. Lock clicked twice. I still checked the bolt again. The air inside my house felt tighter. Like someone had vacuumed out the oxygen. I called the lottery office. Got rerouted. Placed on hold. Reassigned to a case officer. Voicemail. Disconnected. Funny how slow things move when your name's no longer on the check, I muttered. I poured a glass of water, hand trembling. Something tasted off. Too metallic. I spit it out. Poured another. Waited. Same aftertaste. I dumped the whole pitcher, dropped the filter in a Ziploc, and shoved it in the freezer. Cut to. Backyard. Motion lights flickered. No one was there. But the grass was pressed down, like someone had been standing still. Next day, I booked a meeting with an independent lawyer. Name, Nolan East. Clean reputation. Not local. I handed him the documents. His brow creased at page 2. Whoever drafted this wasn't sloppy. They were calculated. He pointed to a clause in fine print: in the event of signatory's incapacitation, full discretionary control reverts to family trust administrators. My stomach turned. Incapacitation? I asked. Could be medical, mental, emotional. Anything that can be proven or staged. Especially if the signatory doesn't push back fast enough. He looked at me. No smile. You wait 2 more weeks, you'll be an unstable ex-millionaire in the eyes of the law. That night, I searched my home from top to bottom. Nothing was out of place, and that was the problem. Every drawer was too perfect. My backup passport was moved by ½ an inch. My laptop was closed when I'd left it open. Someone had been inside. They weren't robbing me. They were setting the stage. They wanted it to look like I was falling apart. I checked the thermostat log. It showed changes. Times I wasn't home. Logged from my phone, which had never left my side. Spoofed. I backed up everything to an encrypted drive. Photos. Emails. Financials. Next morning, I called Maribel. She answered on speaker. I could hear wind chimes. Fake calm. You signed it, Eli, she said sweetly. You were just stressed. Remember? You asked us to help. I never. Don't overcomplicate this. You're safe. Isn't that what matters? A pause. It's not good for you, handling something this big. You don't have the wiring. The wiring? She laughed. Dad said it best. Some people aren't built to carry gold. They just crumble trying. I hung up before I said something I couldn't take back. Cut to. Living room. Lights off. Curtains drawn. I watched the footage from my door cam. 2 nights ago. 2:43 a.m. Someone stood on my porch. Face hidden under a hoodie. No entry. No motion past the door. Just standing. Watching. They knew where the camera was. They wanted me to see it. Wanted me scared. That's when I saw it, a reflection in the glass door. Not just one person. 2. One taller. Holding something. I paused the footage. Enhanced. Blurry. But clear enough to see what it was. A clipboard. Forms. Paperwork. That night, I found the scanned signature and watched my own handwriting sign away my life. The front door was locked. I was gone for 90 minutes. Just enough time for someone to enter without breaking anything. Just enough to make it look like I was imagining it. The smell hit first. Not bad. Just different. Like old cologne clinging to the air, faint and foreign. I never wore cologne. Cut to kitchen drawer. Slightly off. Not open. Not closed. I never leave it that way. My laptop sat on the dining table. I'd left it plugged in, charging, files open. Now it was cold. Lid closed. Nothing looked moved, but everything felt rearranged. I checked my safe. Combination untouched. Cash still there. Passport. Watch. But the emergency key I taped under the bottom drawer? Gone. I stood still, listening. House settling? Or breath that wasn't mine? I moved room to room. Hands tight, breath clipped. Windows locked. Nothing broken. Nothing stolen. Nothing except trust. They weren't trying to rob me. They were trying to see what I knew. What I had. Who I'd told. That's when I realized the files from Nolan, the ones he printed and gave me, were gone. Not all of them. Just 2. Clause pages. Backdoor clauses that would trigger financial control based on erratic behavior, non-responsiveness, or withdrawal from rational family counsel. In English, if I freaked out or went silent, they won. Cut to outside. I walked the perimeter. Fence undisturbed. But in the back, just near the edge of the hedges, the dirt was soft. Like a heel had pressed it down, twisted in. I pulled out my phone. Opened the home security app. Loading. Still loading. Blank. The past 48 hours were wiped clean. I restarted the router. Nothing. Dead feed. That wasn't accidental. I called the security company. Automated line. Your account has been deactivated. Please call during business hours. It was Saturday. They were closed until Monday. Convenient. I turned, looked at my house from the outside. The porch light flicked once. Short burst. Not a glitch, a signal. Inside again, I went to the fridge. I needed something solid. Food. Water. My stomach flipped. The bottled waters were all in perfect alignment. That wasn't me. I opened one. Smelled it. Tasted it. Neutral. The second one, slightly off seal. A faint aftertaste. I dropped it. Snatched my keys. Out the door. Cut to highway. Fast. Breathing hard. I called Nolan. He answered on the third ring. They were in the house. Pause. They? Don't know who. But they took files. Killed my security. Left signs. Like they want me to spiral. He was quiet. Can you meet me? Not until Monday. I'll be in Springfield for a deposition. Anyone you trust one can go to? I don't trust anyone, Vili. That's why I'm still practicing. Click. I pulled into a strip mall lot. Parked. Shut the engine off. Silence wrapped around me. That's when I saw it, car 2 rows behind me. Same one that had been in the grocery lot yesterday. Same dent in the front panel. Same bumper sticker, trust your tribe. It wasn't moving. I opened my door. Walked toward it. 1 step. 2. The driver's seat shifted. I paused. He didn't get out. Just pulled the phone up to his ear. No call was made. Just the motion. The message. Keep walking, and it becomes something else. I turned. Back to my car. Drove. No destination. Just movement. People only run when they think they're still somewhere safe. By dusk, I was back at the house. Curtains closed. All lights off. I sat in the dark with my laptop, Used a secure hotspot. New connection. Logged into the cloud storage I'd set up last year and forgot. Backed up camera stills. Old system. Obsolete. But it worked. I scanned through thumbnails. Most were blank. But 2 nights ago, 2:43 a.m., there it was. A figure on the porch. Face obscured. Hoodie drawn tight. But not alone. Glass reflection caught a second person, half a step behind. That's when I saw it, not a weapon. A clipboard. Forms. Legal. Deliberate. They weren't robbing me. They were preparing a file. One where I didn't own anything anymore. If someone had already been inside my house, the next step wouldn't be paperwork, it would be me. I didn't sleep. Not really. Just curled up in the chair, lights low, blinds taped shut, listening to the house breathe. It creaked. Clicked. Stood still. Like it was waiting. My phone chirped. A message from an unknown number. You have 48 hours. No signature. No threat. Just time. I didn't respond. Cut to living room. Papers scattered. Old bills. New threats. I needed a plan. I drove. Fast. Streets slick with late-night drizzle. Headlights in slow motion on wet asphalt. Every turn felt like a surveillance cutscene. Pulled into a chain diner. Neon hum. No music. Just clatter. I thought about something once said, courage is an absence of fear. It's fear pressed into purpose. I didn't know who said that, but it felt like truth tonight. I ordered coffee black. No sugar. No warmth. My lawyer, Nolan East, picked up on the second ring. They were in the house, I said before he could speak. Silence. What did they take? Clause pages. The ones that matter. His breath was quiet. Too calm. That means they're preparing. Procedure, I finished. Exactly. He said it like it was a game. It wasn't a game. Cut to my home. I drove back slower this time. Observing. Windows dark. No life signs. I reached the porch. Motion sensors didn't light up. They had cut the feed. Inside, I turned lights on one by one, kitchen, hall, study. The safe was still closed. I opened it. Lo and behold, the backup key was taped to the underside of the drawer. Shit. I'd moved it last week. Someone knew. I touched the cold metal zipper of my emergency bag. Inside, burner phone, cash, passport, a saw-off flashlight, a USB with encrypted backups. I heard it then. A car door. Far. But distinct. Cut. I ducked. Lights off. Nothing. I exhaled. Too slow. Too loud. I opened my laptop. Logged into the cloud server using the burner phone as hotspot. Old surveillance still worked. And then I saw her. Not a man. A woman. Standing on the porch. Hood up. Quick glance. Then gone. Timestamp, 2:43 a.m. I rewound. Enhanced. Pixelated. Second figure behind her, clipboard in hand. Legal forms. Not intimidation. Preparation. They weren't sloppy. They'd planned this. I backed up the frame. Stored it. Then the text came through. Sign or we start phase 2. Phase 2. My chest tightened. I drove again. Deserted roads. No music. Just speeding thoughts. I crossed the river bridge. Headlights bleeding through fog. I felt watched. closer. The phone buzzed again. New image. My attorney's name at the top. A screenshot of an email from his account. Subject: mandatory mental competency evaluation. My heart stuttered. He wasn't helping. He was involved. Inside, the diner where I paused before, a reflection in the chrome framed me, eyes wide, jaw tight, coffee gone cold. I remembered another saying I'd overheard long ago: secrets are heavy. Sometimes they weigh more than the truth. I didn't know the rest until now. Because this wasn't about stealing money. It was about stealing control of me. I parked in a no-standing zone near my house. Engine off. Mist rising from the pavement. I clicked on the email attachment. A form. Official. Signed by Nolan. Mandatory psychiatric evaluation. Due Monday. That's in 3 days. The same day all the transfer papers finalize. They were going to declare me unstable. And then the money and my life would be gone. I should have felt panic. But something else hit. Ice. Clarity. Phase 2 wasn't financial anymore. It was psychological. And that was worse. They were going to make me think I was the enemy. I sat there, hands trembling, mind razor sharp. Then the porch light flicked on. A single flash. Like someone watching. Like someone saying, I see you. And I'm not done. I left the house before sunrise. Fog clung to the ground, thick and slow, perfect for ghosts and secrets. My car idled at the curb. Engine ticking, tire hiss, breath caught in my throat. I thought about an old line I heard once, something like, you never see the whole picture until it's trying to kill you. It felt fitting right now. No music. No call. Just ticking time. I drove to the edge of town, nowhere, but not alone. I felt eyes on me. Always had. Even when I was a kid and my parents called me sensitive. I was sensitive to danger. It kept me alive. I pulled up to an old diner on Route 38. Neon sign buzzed, open all night, a promise and a threat. I saw him before I heard the footsteps. His hair was gray at the temples. Sharp eyes like he was trained to notice everything, and he did. He moved like he expected a chase, even in a booth. I slid in across from him. Aunt Renata, I said, nodding once. She didn't smile. Didn't ease into the booth. Just stared. I knew they'd come for you, she said. Cut. The waitress brought coffee. 2 mugs. Steam like ghosts rising. Renata stirred hers. Black. No sugar. They've been planning this for years, she said. Ever since you won. I grazed my tongue over my lips, dry. Why? They're family. Family is a word they use to justify betrayal, she said. Your parents aren't scared of you losing the money. They're scared of losing control. I looked out the foggy windows. Heads turning into strangers. Streets emptying behind them. Renata slid a manila envelope across the table. Thick. Older prints on oily paper. It started long before the lottery, she said. There was an inheritance dispute. A split. Years of grudges, and they saw your win as a way to settle old scores. I opened the envelope. Photos. Bank statements. Emails. Legal drafts. Everything Nolan printed, and more. At the bottom, a list. Names. Account numbers. A lawyer's signature I didn't recognize. I swallowed. These are the tentacles, she said. They wanted you distracted with money so they could slip the real hooks in: control, identity, legal authority. I felt old fear flare, but sharpen. I grabbed the envelope. Stashed it under my jacket. I thanked her. She didn't blink. I stepped outside. Clouds drifting over streetlights. Shadows parked between silence. My phone buzzed. Unknown caller. I didn't answer. Text came through. Drop it. Simple. Direct. Cowardice in 3 words. Then another. We know where you are. I shoved the phone back in my pocket. Fists tight. Thoughts fast. I walked to my car. That's when it hit. Sirens, distant at first. Closer now. Flash of red. Blue. Then another. A third. Not for me. For them. A black sedan screeched around the corner behind me. Headlights like daggers. I ducked as they skidded to a halt. 2 men in suits got out. Badges flashed. Federal. No hesitation. Eli Calhoun? Voice low. Official. Step away from the vehicle. My heart hammered. The fog felt colder now, like betrayal had a sound. I raised my hands. They placed cuffs on me. I didn't struggle. I couldn't. I watched them open the trunk. Inside, the manila envelope. My lawyer's documents, I said. The agent looked at it. Opened it. Threw it on the pavement. Tore through pages. His eyes narrowed. We've been watching this operation for months, he said. You walked into the middle of a sting. My breath stuck. Who? Your so-called family counsel. That lawyer you trusted? Not licensed to practice law in this state. Fake credentials. And the trustees listed on your transfer papers? All aliases. A laugh escaped me, low, sharp. You're kidding. He reached down, pulled a phone from the envelope. Screenshot. Emails. Tracing data. Every fake signature. Authentic forensic timestamps. All pointing away from me. And another thing. They've been in your house, the agent said. Disabling your security. Trying to isolate you. Psychological operations. I exhaled. Thin air. You mean, they're freaking me out on purpose? He didn't smile. We're here to help you finish this. I lifted my head. Sirens deeper now. Light flashing orange down the highway. Not just fog anymore. A storm. Phase 2, I muttered. He nodded. Exactly. I thought about something else I'd heard once, that fear is just another form of focus. Right then, every nerve in me was sharp. There was no running anymore. Only forward. I stepped toward the agents. The wind picked up. Cold. Unforgiving. And the sky cracked open. The hunt had just begun. They brought me into the room. Bright lights. Cameras. Reporters shoved mics into my face like vipers tasting fear. I stood at the podium. Hand steady. Heart pounding like a war drum. Behind me, the faces of a family that almost swallowed me whole. The words left my mouth crisp. This isn't just about money. It's about truth. Cut. Mic hit. Flash. The Attorney General laid out the case with clinical precision. Falsified signatures. Illegal transfers. Mental competency filings that were never requested. Every forged document traced back to 2 names, my parents, Maribel Calhoun. Not authorized. Not legitimate. Criminal. I watched their faces blanch, slow motion, like in an old noir film. Dad's jaw slack. Mom's lips parted. Maribel's usual smirk gone, replaced by a ghost of panic. I thought about something once said, that a lie doesn't become truth, even if you believe it. Tonight, the lie unraveled. Distraction. My sister's eyes flicked to a camera behind me. Reveal. The lens caught something she didn't expect, the envelope. The one I took from the federal car. The one containing the secret ledger. Flash again. The prosecutor held it up. This, she said, connects every illegal act to every false claim made. Cut to. Security footage from inside my house. Late night. Someone stands in shadow. Clipboard. Forms. A glint of a ring. Not coincidence. Proof. The room erupted. Shouts. Whispers like static waves. My stomach dropped. No. Not now. I thought I was on the defense. But I was on offense. I had the evidence. Not out of arrogance. Out of survival. The prosecutor turned to the cameras. This case underscores a truth we must never forget. Family ties don't grant immunity from law. A roar of applause. Reporters shouting. I stepped down. Outside, wind slicing cold, like truth itself was sharp. Reporters swarmed. I spoke into the camera. Justice isn't vengeance. It's accountability. Cut. Sirens rolled in the distance. Maribel was escorted away, cuffed, disbelief stiff in her limbs. Dad's shoulders sagged as he was let out. Mom didn't look at me. She just stared ahead, empty. I felt a hollow ache. Not triumph. Just clarity. I left the courthouse into the dusk. The air smelled like rain and possibility. I'd lost a family, but gained something rarer. Autonomy. I found Renata waiting by my car. Her eyes were tired, but steady. You did it, she said. I didn't smile. Not yet. We did it, I corrected. She nodded. We drove through the city lights. Windshield wipers beating rhythm. I thought about another line I once heard, sometimes the hardest battles are the ones within. Today, I won outwardly. But the war inside me was far from over. I drove to the river. Night falling. Lights reflecting like fractured truths dancing on water. I pulled out the encrypted drive. The one that held every copy of every altered document. I watched the files delete. One by one. They vanished. Just like the paranoia that had haunted me. Cut. The phone buzzed. Unknown number. I didn't flinch. I answered. Eli? A voice I didn't expect. Warm. Calm. Are you okay? My voice was raw. Yes, I lied at first. Then honest. I will be. She didn't speak. Just waited. I thought about trust. About how easily it could be broken, and how courage could rebuild it. The bridge between past and future felt narrow. Sharp. And brimming with light. I ended the call. Locked the phone. Walked toward the river's edge. A breeze tugged at my jacket. I looked up. Stars blinked into existence. One by one. That night, I realized. Winning wasn't about the money. Winning was reclaiming my story. And making sure no one else owned it. I stepped into the rippling glow of city lights against water. And exhaled. At last.